Yes, Governor Tan, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and also the members of this committee. Of course, thank you very much to the chairman and the members of the third-party monitoring team for engaging the local government executives, especially more particularly in the area of the Bangsamoro Autonomous region. And I would like to suggest that the matter of monitoring should not be limited to the monitoring between government, government that is part of the government that is negotiating with the MILF and the MILF. But if we may request, you monitor, please monitor also the matter of local governments with the MILF, because it is the governors and the mayors and the village chiefs who are actually the ones on the ground, and I would assume that we know better. With due respect, we know better than anyone else in government, because we are there, and not only are we there, we have seen the war in the south. It was a very cruel war. Cruel in the sense that even families were divided. One on the side of government and the other on the side of the rebels. And this happened to us, including my family, in the province of Sulu, wherein all of the members of my family on the mother side joined the MNLF. All of the members of my family on the father side joined government. So this was in the early 70s when martial law was declared. And in fact, I am not actually new about being a member of the MNLF. I was present during the swearing at even before the declaration of martial law, the swearing before the OI at Ichage Mosque, Manila. So, but then, the first victim after the declaration of martial law, it was my own municipality, my birthplace, wherein the police units of our municipalities, 2 jeeploads of our municipality, where my uncle was mayor after the death of my father. My father died as a mayor in 1971, after which my uncle became the mayor of that municipality, and martial law was declared on September, but in the same year, the war started right in our own municipality, and 2 jeeploads of our police unit were pinned down, and almost all of them were killed. So the municipality of Maimbu was razed to the ground, and we had to leave it because it was already bombarded. It was bombarded by also by government forces, and the war continued up to around the 80s, early 80s. So we do not want that repeated. In 1974, the capital town of Sulu was likewise attacked, and we suffered so much. We suffered because we lost practically everything. Everything were burned. Properties, houses, and everything. So we were left with nothing. So we do not want to suffer the same fate. I mean, at least they say that there is a peace process that is supposed to be ongoing. But then, apparently, this is the local governments have been disregarded. Actually, we do not even know if we are a part of this process. In the matter of the convening of the Council of Leaders, I do not know. There was a time when Chairman Murat met us, and actually it was not met us, met me. And physically, he was the only one present. And he said that was supposed to be a Council of Leaders convening. But after that, there was nothing more. And this was right before the renewal or the extension of the BTA, the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, when they were negotiating, for us to support the extension. So we have been telling them to convene the Council of Leaders, but they have not. So I really do not understand on why. And they say that it is because of the pandemic. If it is because of the pandemic, why were they able to disperse the funds of the BARB, especially more particularly the Black Grant, the Black Grant. About 2 weeks ago, I was in the office of Special Assistant to the President, Anton Lagdameo, and he told me that the funds are still there. I asked how much funds are still there. Said about 55 billion, but 55 billion out of the more than 200 billion. What have they done? What did they do with the funds? So this is something that we are seeking for an answer. So that is why we are very, very glad that you invited us, and we would like to. If you can, we can possibly engage even more closely and more frequently in, at least for us to be understanding the matter of this so-called peace process. So now, recently I was briefed as a part of the ELAC briefing as a chairman of the ELAC in the province of Sulu. Was briefed by the team headed by Major General Patrimonio, our division commander. And one of those that was presented was the turn-in of something like 69 firearms, 64 firearms, I think genuine, and 5 homemade. And I was asking them to provide me with particulars such as the serial numbers, as well as the supposedly possessors of the firearms, because I was told that these are MILF who are supposed to be part of the decommissioned combatants from Sulu. But they told me that the firearms had been transported to Camp Darapanan, and they were not supposed to they told me that they were not supposed to get the numbers or the serial numbers of these firearms, including the names of the supposed possessors. So I said, why is it like that? Well, that is the order to them. They cannot get the numbers, but this will be shipped to Darapanan. Well, I said, this is us, we cannot even have copy of the so-called combatants. So-called combatants, which I understand is something like 40,000. Now, it was admitted, it was reportedly admitted by Secretary Galvez that there are 40,000 with firearms of 12,500. Out of this 12,500, 5,000 are supposed to be privately owned, and only something like 7,500 are owned by the NILM. But not all of the 7,500 would be turned in as part of the commissioning, because they will have to retain these firearms for their security. And in which case, to us, this will defeat the purpose of the commissioning. So, people have been doubting, how can you decommission or say there is sincerity in this decommissioning if you do not turn in the firearms and you do not even provide us with the roster of the members of this 40,000. Now, in fact, we have been telling Secretary Galvez that what we want is one combatant and one firearm. It should be that way, because then you cannot call anyone a combatant who does not have firearm. Because way back in the 70s, early 70s, one combatant would possess at least one firearm. Others even have two. Others even have three. Because at that time, a combatant would own one rifle, one grenade launcher, and maybe one pistol or one bladed weapon. So that was in the early 70s. And there should be more firearms now. So I remember during the time of President Era, when he was telling us that he was going to launch an attack. And I told him, well, you have to launch. Well, he said, we cannot spend funds of government for these people and entrench themselves in their camps, entrench their bunkers, and using government funds. This is like fooling ourselves. If we spend money to entrench the enemy. That was during the time of, that was in the year, mga year 2000, around year 2000, when Camp Abu Bakar was also attacked, I think, year 2000. So, this is it, sirs, about the matter of these activities or performance of this farm. So, we would like to suggest that kindly engage us more often. We want to sit down with you so that you would know what is on the ground and we would know what have you reached or what have you monitored as far as the progress of this peace process is concerned. So far, that is about all, Madam Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Tan. Yes, Chairman Marius.
Yes, thank you very much. We would certainly like to engage with the LGUs. We have done so on previous occasions. Last week we met Mayor Cruz Palau in the city. We plan during our next visit, we plan to go to Tawi-Tawi, Basila, and we would also like to visit you in Sulu if the occasion arises.
We would like to extend the invitation. This Luka, San Chedik was there. So, look at him, he's always smiling.
Chamsidik was everywhere.
My brother
your allowance, Madam Chair? Yeah.
Yes, please proceed.
I think firstly on the, thank you very much for everything, all of the contributions and the questions that we've had so far. I think it demonstrates that there's obviously a deep commitment to continuing the pathway to peace from everybody. But at the same time, there are serious issues that remain in the process. So thank you for raising all of these, and we will of course be taking note of everything that's raised. And in particular, Governor Tan, your point about the Council of Leaders, we also agree that it's critical that that be stood up. And the purpose of the original design was precisely to deal with some of these issues. So we will be revisiting that again in terms of recommendations and ways forward for the Council of Leaders. In respect to your points around the weapons and the number of combatants and the number of weapons, we note the recommendation that there should be one weapon per combatant. I do know that we know that that's been discussed before between the panels. It's one of those areas which seems a little ambiguous because the agreements on the numbers are not formally part of the annex to the comprehensive agreement on the rights of Moro. They are an executive commitment, if you like, between the leadership of the MLF and the president of the Republic of the Philippines at the time. So that question, I guess, is one which will, if it is to be changed or resolved, would be at that level of the executive agreement between the state and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front.
also not allowed to see the list of these components. And what the IDB is saying, they are saying it is in the server, it is not in internet. And it is the process of both sides. Of course, it is not in the Muslims, we are saying that it is not higher than the change. You can talk and you can discuss in the legal councils. It can be changed, you can see. But the agreement is very clear. The list of the components need to be secure and confidential in ID. Of course, and repeating again, it can change. This is just an agreement. If the both sides is agree, it can be, of course, you can see this. And I am recommended to see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is not the name of the company. The bigger pictures, we have listed the SASA area. We have listed the upper area. We have recognized thousands of the combatants that have the commission. And the thousands of the weapons in the SASA. Most importantly, while we are meeting with the front commanders, they minds for the peace. They are not thinking to fight. They are thinking to how they will decommission their combatants. Sincerely, we are sitting with them, and sincerely we realize that they don't want to war again. Very long war done, and now they are working even during our last visit. I'm finishing, Madam Chair. We have Commander Bravo, and he was criticizing us why the number of the commission is less. We need to go more forward. I want to make my recognition, my side recognition more faster. Even other criticizing was there from that, but Interpellation is working for peace. And really we need to get, as a VP, I am putting myself on the same bucket. We need to get clear of this atmosphere. One worry I have, there's no problem with this generation. They are working for peace, but I am worried too much for the coming generation. The youngsters don't know the cost of the war, and they have never faced these problems on the ground. Now they started criticizing their elders. And how ISIS is getting power on the ground. How the other radical groups are getting power on the ground. Because of this, now we have a great chance, generation after generation, we can reach the peace and we can settle the Bangsamoro and benefit for the peace. Thank you very much. Madam Chair, tonight,
Governing time period.
Mr. Chiting, on the matter of an agreement was reached between the president, then president of the Philippines, and the leadership of the MILF. In the matter of the one-to-one, the commissioning, one gun to one combatant, the commissioning is left to only the leadership and the president. I think that should be made public, made known to the Philippine nation that such an agreement was reached. We cannot hide it from our people. And the Philippine government or the Philippine nation would not allow their leaders to hide anything from them. This is something that should not be limited only to the armed region, because this can affect the whole nation. Remember that, especially the province of Maguindanao is in the mainland, and it is a provinces, such as Davao, North Cotabato, South Cotabato, and so on. Now, should this process not succeed, or maybe confusion escalate, then it could spill over to other provinces. This is something that should be looked into. It is not limited. It is not limited. In fact, I learned that even camps have been propping up in other areas outside of the bar provinces. Lanao Norte, Sultan Kudarat, yes, Bukidnon. So, in fact, recently, just about 4 or 5 days ago, some individuals, I really cannot confirm if this was with the consent of the leadership or the authorities of the MNLF or the MILF. Somebody was raising a flag of the MNLF or the flag of the MILF, of which I instructed the village official to approve the flag, so it was approved. So this is something, unless coordinated, that could spark. We have been telling them that there are still other armed people on the ground other than the MILF and the MNLF. Although the more dominant rebel group in the province of Sulu is the MNLF. So they say that they have this MNLF one faction and the MNLF other faction. Actually, even prior to this pronouncement of Secretary Galvez that he was able to bring the two factions together, they were already together. Because the son of the late Chikiri came to me and I told him to send a letter to Secretary Galvez telling him that to have reconciled with Chairman Isoki. A letter was sent to Secretary Galvez. So it is not something new. Now, I hope this can be clarified, Mr. Chief. Now, in the matter of, they say that they like peace. Yes, of course, in the works, but unless you convert that into action, how can you like peace if you do not turn in your heart? What use would it be to be keeping or keeping the partner in your possession? This, there are other groups who are armed. We know that there are enough firearms that could spark a bigger war. I've been telling them, I have never believed in this barrel program where government buys firearms of 13 firearms will be paid by government. I said, they only turn in old firearms, old model, and they buy new ones. Now, in this case of the bar, so much money is in their hands. So much. In fact, I was told by Secretary Anton Damayo that they were told that they do not know anymore what to do with their partner, with the funds these funds are wrongly used. So if these funds are wrongly used, you know, it's like strengthening the who could become enemies of government. So we do not want that to happen. We already suffered so much. We already sacrificed and suffered so much blood and been spilled. And you know, one time I was visited by then Secretary of Local Secretary Desturesa, together with Galvez, when he was Chief of Staff. They came to see me in my house. They were telling me that I should really join this farm, this practice, I should campaign for farm in the Appendicine. I said, you know, I already work. During the arm, nothing has happened. And in fact, what has happened is our development has been set back by so many years. Then I asked him, you tell me how many years is development set back? He at least in my brother. And then he asked my brother to answer. My brother answered, we are set back by 200 years. So I said, 5 generations, 4 generations. I die 5 times, it would still be the same. We want our people also to grow. We want our people to learn. We want our people to be capacitated. We want our people to become responsible citizens of our property. So, this is precisely, I know, who became, yes, many years they were in the jungle. They were not actually in the jungle. They were there. Their jungle were there, you know, the encampment there. That comes Garapana. That is not really the jungle. I told them, do not, I told Minister Iqbal, Minister Sinarinpo, and other ministers, you know, you learn from the mistakes of your predecessors. Who were your predecessors? Your predecessors were the rebels or rebel leaders who became governors of the army. Who were they? Who were they? Chairman was one. Failure. Dr. Parokusin, who happens to be my uncle, first degree cousin of my mother. What happened? Even Chairman Alvarez Isnagi, who became an OIC, what happened? Really armed. Because the fact that our development was set back, I cannot say that it was a success. So, this is what we have been saying. But, I think even very few years recent to us. Until such time, perhaps, this whole thing will just blow. And, you know, in our case, local officials, we do not take in sitting down. We are also ready for anything. That they know. And in fact, when they came to campaign for the plebiscite, it was only the province of Sulu that voted against inclusion. Then my case is still pending before the Supreme Court, awaiting resolution so that we can get out of this part. Because, you know, we have people who would like to grow. But at the rate we are going, we are not growing.
Yes, certainly we would like to talk more to you and to the other governors as well. So when the opportunity arises, we